everyone for being here. Those of you who have not heard of Hope Not Hate before, we are UK's largest grassroots anti-racist community. What we do is we bring people together of every background, irrespective of their race, their ethnic background, their faith, their gender, their social status. And we do that in a non-party political way, because we think that when you build strong communities that are resilient to fear and hate, then you have better neighborhoods, you have better relations, and more importantly, you're safeguarding what Britain stands for in the rest of the world, which is tolerance, justice, and equality. Or at least that's what I thought Britain stood for 10 years ago when I moved for the first time. You might have picked from my accent that I'm not necessarily born here. Well, I was born in Romania. But I tell everyone that through my grassroots campaigning and through my journalistic work, I've become British, and I'm very proud of that. Because the work that I do with people from every background is to make sure that we maintain that type of open, multicultural and tolerant society. You might be asking yourselves, why does Hope Not Hate need to organize and need to come bring people together in a almost utopian place like Cambridge? But the reality is that we are not safe even in Cambridge. As I speak, over the last 2 weeks, we have had anti-Semitic incidents happening in our tolerant, liberal, open Cambridge. From far-right stickers that have been put across the city to anti-Semitic leaflets that have been put on property on the Sedgwick site of Cambridge University. So what Brexit has brought, irrespective of the way people have voted, that was their right to vote with their heart and with their mind, what it has brought is a freedom from some who are embracing hate to come forward. And if they feel confident in spreading that hate here in Cambridge, can you imagine what is happening in other places of the country? Where I can tell you what is happening. There have been 14,000 incidents of hate crime happening in the 3 months after the Brexit vote. Whether you are Romanian and you've got your shop set on fire, whether you are Polish and unfortunately a Polish national was killed in Harlow, or whether you're a Muslim woman whose scarf was pulled from her head, you were told again and again by, thankfully, a minority that this is not your country, you should go home, where we can't allow a minority to speak for us. So I would invite you to search for Hope Not Hate on Facebook, on Twitter, to join the Cambridgeshire group and to take part in a couple of actions that we've got coming up. The first and foremost is the one in the House of Lords on Monday. If you know anyone in the House of Lords, please write to them and ask them to vote for an amendment that's put forward by Labour peers, Lib Dem peers and crossbenchers that will once and for all hopefully guarantee the right to stay of EU nationals so they are no longer used as bargaining chips. The second one is the fact that we need to come together at grassroots level, irrespective of our background, whether we are old and new migrants, whether we are settled communities or whether we are new communities. We need to build bridges. We need to engage and get out of our comfort zone and be able to make positive, engaging conversations. The third one is the fact that on 4th of May, we're going to have council elections and super mayoral elections. These are elections where people can decide, politicians can decide how many refugees are settled here. And more importantly, how will resources be spent in order to bring people together and to make our community more prosperous, more united and more cohesive. And finally, I want to bring up the fact that all across the country, Hope Not Hate, Joe Cox Foundation and the Big Lunch are organizing big community events. I don't know if you know, but Hope Not Hate has been chosen by the Joe Cox family after she was unfortunately killed by a far-right extremist just before the referendum. We have been chosen as the charity to build bridges and build community cohesion. So if you want to get involved here at the grassroots in a non-party political way, but to share the community and to keep it open, to come together in hope, not hate, then please come forward. Thank you.